Alright, it's been a little while since we've done a review. I've been experiencing some technical difficulties, but we got those taken care of, and we're going to do a review today. I'm Steve Perry for SmokingABandwidth.com, and I am slaving over a hot atomizer to bring you the best electronic cigarette news, views, and reviews available on the World Wide Web, and today we are out in the Stigx. S-T-I-G-X. This is a product we're reviewing today. This was sent to me by Alex over at Stigx for the purpose of review, and this is what comes in the kit. Might look familiar to you. Should. It's basically an e-cig kit here. You got the nice little Stigx logo on it. The one they sent me was white. I am an over-the-road trucker. If I were getting one myself, I believe I would get the black. Hide a little bit of the dirt and stuff. But it also comes with this nice little, got the logo on that too. I don't know if you can put it right in the light. You should be able to see it. Kind of stamped into a nice little leather holster. It's not a belt holster or anything like that. It's just something you could put it in to carry it in your pocket or your pocketbook. Underneath the kit you will find your charger and also a needle bottle. I'm not sure why that's in there. There's your USB part of the charger. Now obviously I'm here in the US, so that plug is not going to work for me, and that's the one that came with it. This is out of Netherlands. Comes out of the Netherlands. This kit runs, I looked it up on the site, I forget the exact price on the euro, but when I converted it over to dollars, it's right under $50 for this kit on their website. And it includes one electronic cigarette. They also sent me 5 bottles of e-liquid. I'm going to kind of do this review a little backwards. I'm going to start out with the e-liquids. This is the wild tobacco flavor, and basically when I started using it, I just put in some of the wild tobacco, started vaping it, and it's a good flavor. It's 18 milligrams of nicotine. These liquids are all 80 VG, 20 PG, so you get very good vapor production with them. I was a bit concerned about the throat hit I would get with that high level of VG, but this wild tobacco did have pretty good throat hit. After the wild tobacco, I switched over to apple. Decent flavor. I wasn't blown away. The wild tobacco was good. Something I could just sit there and vape. The apple was decent. It's kind of, it is an apple flavor, but they sent me for some reason on this one 12 milligram of nicotine, so that would explain why the throat hit was light on it. I wasn't loving the apple. It was decent. The coffee, on the other hand, when I put the coffee in, I had a couple errands to run, and I took this with me, didn't take anything else. And so when I got out of the house and took the first couple hits on it, I was like, oh, I should have brought something else. Because it was sweet. It was a good flavor, but it is sweet. But after a couple hits, the sweetness was good with me, and it turned out to be a very good liquid. Like, I came home and vaped this for probably half the day. I went ahead and refilled it and continued to vape the coffee flavor. It's got a nice, like a cup of coffee, sugar, cream, coffee, very good flavor to it, decent throat hit. All of these liquids, got the fan on in here. Excellent vapor production. With the high level of VG, it works out very well. You're still getting the throat hit. The one I have in here now, you can see why I'm doing this backwards here in a second. The one I have in here now is a flavor called Cigarillo, and this is a fantastic flavor. Now basically, for a day and a half, I've been vaping this, and unfortunately this label goes pretty much all the way around. Let me see if you can see right there where the crease is. I don't know if you can see how much of this I vaped, but I vaped about half the bottle of this. This Cigarillo is a fantastic flavor. I'm really enjoying this one. very good tobacco flavor, and just, I mean, very good. I'm really enjoying it. I had not previously used this e-cig clearomizer. I was familiar with them. I've used the Pro Tank, and the heads, by the way, on these are interchangeable. But I'm very impressed with this e-cig, with the clearomizer on this one as well, because it's usually with these clearomizers, the airflow is suspect. Some of them it's way too much. You get a really airy draw. Others are too tight. This one here is not only a perfect draw for vaping, but it's a perfect draw for the clearomizer. And what I mean by that is the way the liquid feeds into a clearomizer is affected by the airflow to the clearomizer. So if it gets too tight, when you go to take a drag, you suck in too much liquid. If it's too airy, when you go to take a drag, you don't get enough liquid and you start to get dry hits. And it's just the way the clearomizers work. This one's very well designed because it is the perfect amount of airflow for this clearomizer. So what I'm going to do now, and by the way, I believe this is regulated 3.8 volt battery. I'm not sure what the milliamp hours is on it, but I used this thing basically all day yesterday before the thing died. I would say I got 12, 13 hours out of it. So good performance out of the battery. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and break this down and show you how to clean it real quick. The heads are also replaceable, but I did not see replacement heads on the Stigx website, so if you wanted to replace them, I guess you'd have to get them somewhere else, unless they're going to add them, or maybe they're out of stock at the moment. So let me go ahead and I'm going to take this show over to the kitchen sink and show you how to clean this thing out. Alright, basically the bottom of this clearomizer unscrews, the top comes off, it's one solid piece, mouthpiece and everything. That's a downside for some people. You got a little seal on here, you can pull right off of there. And if you want to clean it good, you don't really have to do this, but if you want to clean it out really good, you can take a pair of pliers and grab this post. It's just press fit in there and you can pull it right out of there. You're going to see that inside the head you've got some extra wick. We can pull that out. And then underneath there is your atomizer, and you're just going to take some hot water and run it over that. You go ahead and rinse that out, and rinse your top piece out and your extra wicking material. Which if you're not getting enough liquid in there for you, getting some dry hits, I have not experienced that problem, by the way. I've not had one dry hit out of this. You can leave that wicking out and it will feed more liquid into it. But that's the first part of the cleaning process. And then after you've done that, you're just going to go ahead and take your battery and fire it and dry off the coil and the wicking material. And you'll notice once you get orange all the way across, when you hit it and it fires up, your wick is basically dried out and ready to go. So did a pretty good job cleaning it. Let's get back to the last e-liquid flavor. Alright, so we're down to our last flavor, and this is how you fill it. You just basically, when you look inside, you'll see there's a center post. You don't want to go in that center post, you want to go around it. And you just take your liquid and squeeze it from the bottle down into the clearomizer around that center post. And you can basically fill it to the top of that center post. This one we didn't fill all the way to there because it's for the sake of review. And then I left this attached. You can take it off or leave it attached, but that post on top of it goes right down into the center post, and you just screw it on like so. I personally take a couple dry hits to get the wicks wet because we just cleaned this one. They may not be entirely dry, and so the first hit will probably be a weak one. Ooh, pretty good though. It's actually. Very nice raspberry flavor there. Alright. The kit as a whole. I'm getting another hit of that. That is very good. Nice strong raspberry flavor there. The kit as a whole. One of the downsides of the kit, if you see when you hit the button it lights up as it's firing. And if you keep the button depressed too long, it will stop firing and flash on you. It's got a 10-second cutoff, I believe. I personally, this seemed to be more like 12 seconds to me. That's going to be plenty for most people vaping, and to a degree, it's an important safety feature for new people starting out. Because if you're carrying this thing in your pocket, and you happen to accidentally depress the button, you don't know it because it's in your pocket. So you're walking around with this thing firing. The risk is there, if there's no cutoff, that you will do damage to your coil, or that you will short out the coil and heat up the battery, which would obviously be a bad thing. So especially for a new vapor, it's an important safety feature, so I don't like to gig it for that, but it can get annoying when you're a more experienced vapor that likes to take longer, deeper drags. But this certainly has enough time on it. I have a couple of the Inokin products that have the cutoff that cut off quicker than this one. So this seems to be kind of a happy medium on that safety cutoff thing. That's about the only downside, other than, like I mentioned, the wall adapter. If you're purchasing this in the US, you will not be able to use the wall adapter that comes with it. But if you're, especially if you're into electronic cigarettes, you got to have a USB port around somewhere so you can just plug that clip into that. It's a very nice looking kit, and here's what my initial thoughts when I got this kit and started using it. Where were you when I started vaping? Sometimes I get a little jealous. I started vaping, I guess about 5 years ago now, with the Enjoy N Pro. That was my introduction to vaping. I enjoyed it at the time. It was a decent product for me at the time, but it was so far behind some of the stuff that's coming out now. So if you're a vapor, if you're a smoker that's considering trying electronic cigarettes, and you check out the product over at Stigx.com, you will be starting out light years ahead of where I was when I started out. Very good product. I don't know about the price. Here's what I'll say about the shipping. Alex hit me up over the website, asked me to review it. I talked to him. I sent him my list of flavors. I got a notification that he'd shipped it on February the 2nd, and it was at my house on February the 7th. Out of the Netherlands, to me, that's lightning fast shipping. Now, I don't know what that shipping cost. I do know that the e-liquids, I ran these in the Euro $2 converter. I believe it comes out right at 18 something, $19 for 30 milliliters. You only get it in a 10 milliliter bottle. Most people I know purchase in 30 milliliter quantities, so I was figuring for 30 milliliters would be 3 of them. But it's a very good electronic cigarette product, and the liquids are impressive. I'll say that. This raspberry here is the last one for me to try. That's a good raspberry flavor. The cigarillo, folks, is outstanding. And the coffee, very good too. Like I said, it took me a few hits to get into it, but once I did, I continued vaping it for a while. I mean, that's a good... The coffee and the cigarillo, I'll be keeping. A lot of this stuff that gets sent to me for the purchase of review, I give to someone who's starting up into vaping, getting interested in it. I get something I like, I pass it along to someone else. I get something I like as much as this cigarillo, I vape it all myself. That's the way it rolls. Anyhow, I'm Steve Perry from SmokingInTheBandwidth.com, reminding you truckers out there to keep the shiny side up and the dirty side down, keep the bugs off your glass and the bears off your ass, 8s and 6s, keep between the dishes, and we'll catch you on this flip side of SmokingInTheBandwidth.com. I almost didn't even get that out.